Hey folks, welcome back to another battle report. This time is Middle Earth strategy battle game. Yes, I have the new rules, and I'm going to tell you they are great. I will do a review of them later once I've got plenty more games under my belt and I understand all the new rules. We're doing a slow build of several players here. I think there's about 6 of us doing a slow build. So we've got starting this month, we've got 150 points. Following month, I think it's 300, then it's 500, and thus by December we should have 750, so we should all have a pretty good army. I've decided to go back and do my Harad. I've had these guys for ages, since they first came out. I've bought loads of them, and then never really got around to finishing them off. So I'm going to do my Harad, and I'm also going to try and spice up my Rivendell Elves as well. So some ideas I've quite enjoyed with those guys. So you'll probably see 150 points of them out. So with a few of those games, we should be able to get quite a few games over the next couple of weeks. Just playing different ones. I know someone's doing Angmar. We've got a Goblin one which I'm up against now. There's a Rohan one. So there's plenty of us doing some different stuff there. So without further ado, we'll go straight to Battlefort. So it's my Rebel Harad versus the Goblin King. So we rolled off the mission, and it's just the basic one where you have to kill points. I think it's like domination, is it domination or something? Anyway, it's the one where you got to kill, get points for killing stuff, and wounding the enemy leader and breaking your opponent before they do. So we'll have a quick look at the forces. So over here we have a Duras, the Goblin King. I don't know if he's a Goblin King. I'm pretty sure he was back when I was playing with him anyway. So we have Duras, and then we have loads of Goblins. See, I think he's a King of Valor, or whichever it is. Basically, you can have more than 12 guys in his warband. So you see, you've got Goblins with shields, Goblins with spears. My opponent's played with bows before and decided it's not worth, in the few number he normally has, to have some Goblin bows. And happily sitting on the hill is my Harad Rebels, the Eagle Claws. Actually there I have a 4 with bow, and I have 4 with spear, and one of them has been upgraded with the banner as well. So he's looking all nifty there. And on the far side is my chieftain. It's mounted on a horse, and he's also got a bow. So I don't think I actually played with the bow in this one. I might have forgotten he had it. But basically, I just have it there because it doesn't count towards the bow limit anyway, and it's poisoned and all that gloriousness. And in fact, in this, since it's a Harad army, my bonuses, all my Haradrim warriors gain poison to close to their shooting and their melee weapons. So that's a little edge, which I'm quite happy with. So the first couple of turns, I'm just taking it easy and popping some shots at these guys, and then I remember just how good strength 2 arrows are, even though they're poisoned as well. Hitting on 4s, needing 6s. Yes, it's going to need a fair few shots to do any casualties against the bow armed ones. I am trying to pick out the second rank of spearmen, just help me in a minute, but yeah, nothing thus far. And if ever they get closer, and as you can see, yep, there's still no casualties. My archery, not that great. But I suppose I'm only using, what, 5 bows, because I've got my Harad Chieftain there as well. As they're getting closer, as you can see, my Harad Chieftain says, well, good luck, lads, and scarpers, leaving me to try and get a few more shots on these guys, while he lines up a nice flanky charge and try and knock some gobbos down. So yeah, I go in for it. I get priority and go in first and charge in, pick the fights that I want to. I charge in for a couple of goblins for my chieftain. I thought, if I only have to fight a couple of them, I'll be able to slay them relatively easy, because I have got a war spear, which basically counts as a lance while I'm mounted, which gives me +1 to wound, and then with 3 attacks going in, doubling them up because I knock him down, that'd be great. But then he surrounds me with loads of goblins, and then I just have to pray I roll a 6, because I positioned him just so well he's out of range of his own banner on my side. And as awesome as this looks, he did beat them all back. The red markers there next to the goblins, just showing that they are now prone. He did kill 3 out of 3 attacks, which is a double to 6, so it's 2 attacks on each, needing, 4s, or maybe 3 wounds if they're spearmen. But basically that looks really good, but unfortunately he rolled a 6 for the combat. I rolled a 4. So he's now used up all his might just to win that damn combat, so I could drive him off. So I don't really want to do that again if I can help it. And then in the melee fight that the infantry were fighting, I don't do too bad. My archers, supported by the spearmen, managed to knock out 2 goblins and shields on the right hand side. Honestly, they're far more better at fighting in combat than shooting with their bloody bows. And then Durbirds managed to kill out the one chap he was fighting, him being strength 4, and me having absolutely no use of shields, means he's pretty easily just picked him off. So that's how things are looking. It's just a review at the end of that combat. We did get one thing wrong here. I only read this afterwards, so I was playing the older rules. Pro models lose half their move to get up, but they also can't charge when they get up. So that was interesting. I didn't know that from at all. So it meant my cavalryman would have been a bit safer, but he is now surrounded, and I am not entirely sure whether I charged or not on this one, actually. It looks like he had the advantage and pushed in against me. I actually managed to win the combat over here, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, I didn't charge, none of these guys are marked up. And I actually managed to kill 2 out of 2, which ain't too bad with only 2 measly attacks. But I did go against the spearmen, thus they're only being defense 4, my strength 4, and only needing 4s to wound. Which ain't bad in this game, because pretty much you spend most of your time trying to roll 5s or 6s. And the combats down here didn't go much better either. I actually lost 2 guys here. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, yeah, I lost 2 guys here, and no kills for my opponent. My banner isn't lying down, he's just a metal, he's the old metal one, so he's sitting on the hill, just, you know, chilling, taking it easy. That's how we're looking. And I got a priority, so yeah, I just threw my guys in. I put in one poor old chap to take on Durbers, and yeah, discharge my captain into as many as I can, hoping with the 3 attacks I can beat anyone. My fight's higher than them, Goblin fight is a 2. Except when when they're trapping me, when they go up to fight 3, which is kind of cool. But still, it makes no odds for my my chieftain, who's a fight 4. And then yeah, all the other combats are pretty good. My banner isn't in combat here; he's just supporting with his spear. And in the combats, you can see here, yeah, I actually lose a Harad up on the left hand side there. He seems to have been beaten up by a goblin, which is most disappointing. But my chieftain did go in and knock out 2 of his chaps. That made me feel a lot better. Unfortunately, I didn't manage to kill the other one, but he's now prone. That's the red marker. And the combat's down the bottom. I actually think I won against the... did I win against Durbers? I think I actually pushed him back there. Same with the other one. So these guys are now broken, which is fantastic. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not quite broken yet. So I managed to get priority, which meant that I used my my own chieftain to charge Durbers, so he had no stand fast anyway. And then I think I just picked on Durbers and maybe like 1 other goblin, and then let him roll the excuse me, roll the dice to see what would happen. And 2 of these guys then scarper off. And so we're looking down here, and this one goblin who didn't seem to get involved in anything, that's because that was the actual prone one. So obviously he'd get back up, and it's only got like 2.5-inch move. So that's how things are looking. Now I'm 2 on 1s, which I'm quite content with, and my charging chap on Durbers. And it's quite interesting with the backstab special rule with Moria. If they outnumber you, they can actually get +1 fight, because if you get out trap my my leader there, my chieftain, he would actually have a better fight than me, and that's quite horrifying for a goblin. Unfortunately, Durbers isn't used to the whole charging cavalry thing, being from the, you know, the holes in the ground, and unfortunately was knocked down with his 2 attacks to my 3, which means I got he was then prone, thus being me allowing to have double the attacks and getting 6 chances to wound him with a lance. With defense, I believe it's like 5 or 6. Either way, it would have been 5s down to a 4. With 6 attacks, I actually managed to do enough wounds that even his fate couldn't save him. And then coming up in the following turn, my opponent rolled, and we either rolled the game to end, which might have been because once one side's broken on a 1 or 2, the game ends, which we might have rolled up, or he fled with those guys. I think if they'd fled, I'd have positioned them on the wall, scarfering it. But pretty much the game ended there, and it was a win for the Harad. So it was only 150 points, but it was actually quite good fun to play. It was one of my opponent's first set of games as well. He didn't know what cavalry did. Well, he did, but not as bad as he thought it was. Yeah, losing combats against charging cavalry is really annoying, but charging them is quite delightful when they can't do anything and they become trapped and they're silly oversized bases and come far more of a hindrance than it does for the infantry. But as I said, the new rules, I'm really happy with them so far. Everything feels really thematic, but I'll probably do a quick review of the rules later on. The only thing I'm missing at the moment in the rules that I can see is probably the siege rules, but Battle of Gondor, or whatever it's called, there's a new supplement coming out, and hopefully there'll be better siege rules than that, because that's one of the things I really liked. I like the original Big Blue book, and I didn't like the Hobbit book. The Big Blue book was fantastic, it had everything in it. It had the siege rules, it had boat rules. It had just, you know, so much fun. The rules themselves were basic enough that you can do pretty much anything with them. And then The Hobbit came out, and it did some really unusual, you know, some of the, you know, the weapon attack rules, which were okay, but they just weren't balanced. And then you had the new profiles of everything that was just super over the top and ridiculous. So I'm really hoping that the new Hobbit Armies book will bring everything back in line, so everything is of the same standard. If I have to see a Fight 7 Orc, I'll be so upset, because why the hell is an Orc Fight 7? As if my bloody elves only get to fight 6, unless I'm like Gil-galad or something. But that's enough of me mumbling and grumbling. The new rules seem fantastic. I'm still enjoying it, and I think this may be my favourite rule set yet for Lord of the Rings, which is fantastic. So good job on GW of actually advancing the rules and doing it right. Until next time, guys, I'll see you again. Ta Wallace.